Oh, perfect. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. And you've got your questions all ready to go.
Well, I not questions. I really was just putting me some things down about the questions that you had on here.
Wonderful.
But this 92-year-old mind does
You're
not.
92?
Yes.
That's shocking. That is shocking. You do not seem 92.
As long as the Lord will let me put one foot in front of the other, it might be stumbling or whatever.
It's okay.
But
That's okay.
I'm gonna get there one way or another.
Yeah. Wow. 92. Okay.
Right.
First of all, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. Sometimes I feel 102. Sometimes I don't feel quite at that age, but.
Winky was just saying, she was like, in my mind, I still feel like I'm 25. Do you feel that way?
Well, maybe 45.
Okay.
Or something like that. But
yeah, not quite,
yes.
not quite 25, but also not 92.
Yes.
Wow.
I have to stop and think about 25. I had 3 children, and by 25.
Oh my goodness.
I graduated in college in out of college 3 years.
Wow.
And started teaching now.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 19 when I got married, and
goodness.
20 when I started teaching school.
Okay. And then you had 3 children between
Well,
then and
I had
25.
one. My husband had to go into the Army,
Yes.
and I was at college. I met him in college.
Wow.
And I said it was the Lord put us together. I know.
Yeah.
Because he was from outside of Nacogdoches, and he was going to Tyler Business College with a friend of his up there. And his mother had paid for it, and they were very poor, and she didn't have any money to pay much, So the last minute, he said, I'm not going to Tyler, I'm going to SFA.
Huh.
And she said, I've already paid for Tyler, and I can't get my money back.
Uh-oh.
He said, I will get the money some way. I'm going to SFA.
He just made up his mind to
Yes,
go?
just right there at the last minute. So he was there, and he had botany on one side of the hall, and I had zoo on the other. And I had gone down there in the one summer term after I got out of high school, and I graduated in 1950, and so I just went on one summer term.
Yeah.
My sister was also there. And so anyway, I knew some friends of his that went to school with him. Mm-hmm. We got to be friends, and so we'd all meet out in the hall when we had a break time.
Yeah.
It was lab time. We'd meet out in the hall and talk and everything. And he got to looking at me, and everything. And
you started thinking, this one.
Yeah. So,
did he ask you on a first date, or?
Yes, he did. I was walking. I lived in a boarding house right there on the campus. And I was walking back home, and this other guy stopped. It was on a boulevard, and Jack rolled down his window, this other guy, and he said, Jean, how about going to a movie tonight? I said, I can't go, Jack. And he said, oh, yeah, I am. Come on.
Wait, sorry, go. Jack was the other guy?
He was another guy I knew,
Yeah.
I said, no, I can't go tonight. Oh, okay. I said, you're holding up traffic. Go on, Jack. So he did. Jim was right behind him. He stopped beside me, and he said, well, what about going to a movie with me? I said, okay.
So he knew that you weren't really busy that night. You just didn't want to go with Jack.
I didn't like him.
Yeah.
So I went with a friend of his to a basketball game, and he sat up behind us, and tears were just rolling down his eyes.
Oh my goodness! So he was just smitten.
He was smitten. Yeah.
Wow. It took you a little longer to be as smitten with him.
Well, he just got to go one semester, and then a good friend of Jim's dad passed away when Jim was 5, and there were 5 kids in the family, 4 older than he was, and so they didn't have anything. They lived way, way back down in the country, and we didn't have anything at our house, but I think they were even poorer than we were. Anyway,
wow.
He after the first semester, they had asked him to come to a training camp with the New York Yankees.
Wow.
And so that was a big thing.
Yeah.
He played semi-pro ball.
Amazing.
And so he went to the camp and stayed down there during spring training.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were sending him to one of the clubs in Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
And he said, can I go back by home? His mother lived just out of Nacogdoches. And so they said, yeah, but have to be up there a certain time,
Yeah.
He said, okay. So he sent his clothes and stuff on up. Well, he came by the college. That's as far as he made it. He said, I'm not going to leave you again. I'm not going to leave you again. I don't care what I have to do.
Whoa.
So
He just didn't want to leave your side.
he didn't.
Wow.
So he stayed there and worked a while, and then he had to go into service. They were drafting him. I was doing my student teaching, and he came by the college to pick me up while I was waiting for the bus to take me to where I was supposed to go. And
Yeah.
he said, I'll take you out there. Get in. I did. He said, let's get married. They're going to take me in the service, and I told them I couldn't go right now. I wanted to see if my girlfriend would marry me before I left. So
What did you say?
I said, yes, I'll have to go talk to Daddy and Mother first and see if they'll pay the rest of my tuition while you're gone. So he had made the highest grade ever made at Cadre School at Fort Bliss. And so he taught their physical training and some M1 rifle or something.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
but it was during the latter part of the Korean War, and they sent him to Germany instead of Korea.
Wow.
And they found out he had played ball for the Yankees, and they said, well, we're going to put you on the Army team.
Really?
Which they did. And so he played Army
He just played baseball the whole time?
He played baseball.
Amazing.
Yeah. He left in March. Well, the next December,
Amazing.
I had Jimmy Lynn, and he was fixing to go to Germany, and he got to come home to see Jimmy born before he left. And then he left, and he was over there 14 months.
Wow.
So
you were raising a newborn by yourself?
Yes.
Wow.
I started teaching when Jimmy Lynn was first day of December.
Okay.
I started teaching in January.
Wow.
I was living with my mother and daddy because
I'm sure you needed another set of hands.
I did.
Yeah.
And my mother, there were three of us older girls.
Uh-huh.
When I was 14, my mother had twin girls.
So those are the blonde, they were blonde twin sisters? Wow.
Yes.
So it was a full house. Could you and Jim send letters and stuff while he was abroad?
Yes.
That's sweet.
Yes. I still have a lot of letters.
Really?
I still have a lot of letters.
That's wonderful.
But,
I love that. So then he came home after 14 months. And then did you get to have your own place, or did you stay with your parents?
No, I didn't tell him. While he was gone, I rented a little 3-room house from an elderly lady that I knew, and I bought furniture for that 3-room house.
Yeah.
And when he came home, he had no idea. And meantime, when I first started teaching, I rode the school bus and I had right in the morning, afternoon coming home too. But after I got through with the first year, I bought me a car. So when he came home, I had a car.
You had a car, you had a house, you had a baby.
With furniture.
You had the whole thing.
I did a lot while he was gone.
Yeah.
So,
would your mom watch your baby while you were working during the day?
She did, but she had the twins too. There's a lot of clothes to wash, and at that time there was
hand washing.
It was hand washing in an old big black wash pot, girl. So, so
that's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Yeah.
And so I got a lady to come help her, go at her house to help her do things, so she wouldn't have so much to do.
Amazing.
And but we made it. It was kind of hard. And, but
I imagine.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
But we made out all right, and we enjoyed life.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't. I think I think God brought us together for a reason, but it wasn't always the marriage made in heaven,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
But
That feels like a
we
very
would get
real.
through
Yeah.
it, you know, and
Yeah.
it was
How
I think
long? How many years were you married for?
almost 69 when he died.
Wow.
He got Alzheimer's in his old age, and
That's tough.
I took care of him. I told him I would. And so my kids would take, when the last month and a half, they saw how hard it was for me to get him into the shower to try to bathe him and all. And so they started coming down. My son from Missouri would come a week. And when he went back, then my daughter from Round Rock would come up and stay a week. And the
just
son,
kind of rotating.
Yeah, the son was here.
Yeah.
He and his wife would be there. Then the next week.
Yeah.
And the last month and a half, all 3 kids and their spouses and 2 granddaughters were there.
Wow.
They held his hand. Somebody was holding both hands.
At all times?
Yes, 24 hours a day.
What a beautiful,
And
family effort, you know?
Yes. Sometimes he knew who we were. Sometimes he didn't. I said, if it hadn't been so bad, it would have been very comical. But sometimes he never knew who I was when I'd get breakfast, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
One time he came in and I said, are you ready for breakfast this morning, honey? And he said, are you Miss Goodbody? And I said, well, I am today, honey.
Whatever you need me to be.
Some mornings he would come in and think I was his mother or his sister, you know. So I wore different hats, different days, you know.
Yeah.
And I was, I'm Dottie. I'm Dottie today. I'd be his sister or whoever he wanted it to be.
I have to imagine that was really hard, though.
It was. As I say, it would have been comical if it were not so.
Yeah, not so tough. So he didn't want to go into a nursing home or anything?
Oh, no, he did not. In fact, we had to put him in the hospital for 3 days, the doctor said, and to be observed before I could put him in a nursing home.
Okay.
So we did, and he was so mad at me, he wouldn't even let me come in his room.
Because he was mad he was being evaluated?
He said, you're the one that did all this.
Oh, you're like, what am I supposed to do?
And, the male nurse that they had on his room was a great big guy. And he said, he could walk fine up here. He was at my desk 100 times a day or more. And so finally, I got so aggravated, said, if I'd had $100 bill, I would have said, Mr. Grimes, here, go get you a cab and go home. He said,
get out of here.
He was telling me he was going to break through the front door. He was going. I said,
all the threats. Oh my goodness.
It was, but kids said they would be there, so that was good.
Wow.
They were there till the end. And
a lot of care right there. That's a lot. I'm still just amazed that you're 92. You're so sharp and. I mean, not that you shouldn't be or anything, but I just
be here all the time. You would think I wasn't so sharp all the time.
All right, well, I'm seeing you at a great moment. Is there anything that you feel like has kept you so quick?
Well, I taught school for 38 years, and I had second graders, and you
got to stay,
keep you on your toes.
Yeah,
and but that was one of the things that I enjoyed very much.
I love it.
And I said, kids would come in my room. And I said, they'll come in my room. They will learn to love school. They will not hate school.
Yeah.
And they will make as high on the test as any of the other second grade classes will.
Yeah.
Which they did. And I have kids now. I'll see them black, white, whatever, They will come up and grab me in a big hug wherever we might be, And
I love it.
Say, oh, Miss Gina, I remember when you told us those stories you made up. And my daughter-in-law told me, said, write those stories down. I just make them up. And said, write those down so we can get rich when you're gone.
Get them published. There you go. Did you always teach second grade the whole 38 years?
The whole 38 years.
Wow.
I had 3 years of a special class. I had 12 in the class because they had problems.
Like a special needs
And
kind of class?
yes,
Okay.
And so I told the superintendent, came to ask me, said, we want you to do this because we know that you're the right person.
Yeah.
And I said, well, one thing that I'm going to ask you is that if I can go back to regular class when I want to.
Yeah.
And so I taught 3 years. We had fun. They had fun. We used the old home. I was in Hallsville School the whole time, where I went to school and graduated from. And we were in the old high school where my kids went to high school.
Okay.
And the old homemaking room was open, still open. And so I asked them if I could use that with my kids, and they said yes. Well, we would go down there and we would make fried apple pies and take to the teachers,
Whoa.
and they had to learn, things that came first in order and second in order and different things like that.
Yeah.
And
measuring and safety of cooking.
So we did all of that.
Amazing.
Well, we did it with biscuits, but I'd let them roll their biscuit dough out, and put their apples in there, and we'd cook the apples beforehand, and they would put those in there and then mash them around with a fork. And then I would fry them, grease for them, and so.
Yeah.
But we made banana splits.
Wow.
We go in order, what comes first, what comes second, what comes third. And I said,
like life skills and math, and I mean, it's a lot.
And it, they had a lot of fun.
Wow.
They had a lot of problems, but I think I helped through those problems.
I'm sure you did, yeah.
And one of the young men that I got in second grade, when I first went there, he was my first class, and he came back as a coach at Hallsville, and he was very, very poor, just like a lot of the kids were, there.
Yeah.
But he said he gets up and tells in meetings of different places that I was the one that made him like school, made him feel like that he was like other kids. And they were very, very poor farmers. And he said, I had 2 pair of overalls, and that was it. And said, when I got in Miss Jean's class, she said she treated me and made me feel like I was rich, just like some of the kids, I didn't have the clothes that they had or the shoes that they had or anything, but said, I will never forget her as long as I live.
I love
And
that.
so
That's
he
beautiful.
is very special. We went to church together when we started First Baptist Church at Hallsville, and he would come hug me every Sunday.
That's so sweet.
Have some kids like that,
Yeah. Did you always want to be a teacher?
I really didn't know what I wanted to be, but when I went to college, there was not many things you could go in.
Yeah.
A nurse, a teacher, or a secretary. And that was just about it.
Yeah. Huh.
But anyway, I was proud of the profession that I got in.
Yeah. And what incredible work you did with it. I mean,
I was very proud of getting my BS degree, my master's degree.
Yeah.
And taking a lot of other, I got the Region 7 reading coordinator.
Okay. Amazing.
And I did. And she had other teachers after I started and worked with it. She had teachers from all around to come observe my classroom.
Wow.
And,
to train the other teachers.
I got Outstanding Teacher Award for that.
Congratulations.
That's
amazing.
In 2010, I got Outstanding Alumni.
Wow.
From high school.
Incredible.
So
what a legacy.
I have been through a lot.
I love it. How did you name your children? I love this question. I love it.
Well,
it seems like there's always a story.
With me, my mother, I was asking her about my name, and she said, well, I just liked Jean, and I liked Claire. So she said, your Uncle Herbert wanted me to marry you, to call you Kay Francis. Said there was a real pretty movie star back then.
Oh, okay.
And her name was Kay Francis. And I said, I'm glad you named me Jean Claire. So,
I like Jean Claire.
but
Oh.
Jimmy, I was wanting to name him. I didn't want him to be a junior.
Mhm.
I did not want a junior, and his
Okay.
daddy didn't either. He didn't even want him. So I give him a name of his own. But
Yeah.
there were so many names then, and it was always Jimmy was one, and there were so many. Randy and
Yeah.
Sammy, and that was just the group of names at that time. So,
Yeah.
and I liked the word name Lynn, and so I just named him Jimmy Lynn. And
Jimmy Lynn.
So-
Is it 2 words?
no, yes, it's 2.
Okay. Jimmy and the middle name is Lynn.
Lynn.
But you called him Jimmy Lynn, kind of one.
Just goes together.
Yeah.
Like kids
Yeah.
in school just called him Jimmy. you know.
Yeah.
But Mona, hers is Ramona Jean.
That's such an interesting name. You don't hear about a lot of Ramonas.
I had two friends that were in college,
Mm-hmm.
and their names was Ramona. They knew each other, but that was just it. But they were in different things, and so I loved both of them. Loved the name, and she hates it. She wants to be called Mona. She does not go by Ramona. Mother, why did you name me that?
Oh, no.
And I said-
Did she ever meet her namesake Ramonas?
No,
Mm.
neither one of them.
Oh.
No.
That's too bad.
So, but Barry, Jim and I went back and forth, and he'd say, I want to name him Johnny. I said, no way. And I'd call out one, I don't like that. Another name, I don't like that. No. And he didn't like anything that I liked. So
Okay.
I went in the hospital to have the baby. He was there,
Mm-hmm.
and all. Then he was gone the next day, and they came in. They said, we have to have a name now. I said, we've let you go this long. We have to have a name for the birth certificate.
Oh, no.
And I said, Barry Mitchell. Jim's middle name is Mitchell.
Okay.
It was Jim Mitchell. And so I like the word name Barry.
You're like, I just had this baby. I'm naming it.
He was not there to say, no, I don't like that name. So I said, no, it's going to be
It's your
Barry
choice.
Mitchell.
Did he like it after that?
He didn't say a word about it. Never said a word about it. No.
He just said, okay, this is baby Barry.
Yes.
Was Barry one of the names you talked about before? Or it
I
was just
think it was. I'm not sure. I had so many.
Yeah.
I
So
really
many had
wanted-
gotten thrown out the window.
I really wanted Kelly.
Oh.
I loved the name Kelly.
Yeah.
My husband had an uncle named Kelly, and he would always tease us when we were going together a lot.
Mhm.
And I just loved his Uncle Kelly.
Yeah.
And so I said, name him Kelly. No, I don't like Kelly.
He didn't want Kelly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway.
So Barry Mitchell. Is Barry short for anything, or it's just?
and
just
he's
Barry?
a lot like his dad in ways.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
How is he like his dad?
Well, he doesn't talk a lot. He's quieter. And Jimmy is, the oldest one, is a go-getter. He's always doing something.
Mhm.
He is, he does the Army training thing now. He and his wife both, what do you call it, when they go in the Army, their basic training stuff.
Okay.
They do that one day a week. They do.
Oh, it's like a workout?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yes.
What
And,
were you like in high school? Were you active in things?
Well, I was active, but they didn't have many things.
Mm.
I played basketball, but one of the teachers, we didn't have a coach then.
Yeah.
One of the teachers kind of coached us, you know.
Yeah.
I was not athletic.
Okay.
I couldn't bounce a ball, and I don't know why I played basketball. I could not even bounce a ball.
Yeah.
And my feet would tangle up when I tried to get there. It was just half court. You just went to half court
Yeah,
and
yeah.
threw it over, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I was not,
Wasn't your thing.
it was not my thing at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
No, it was,
Did you date
I-
much in high school?
no, my daddy wouldn't let us.
Oh.
Nope, he was very strict on us.
Okay.
We had to, if somebody asked us, we had to go home and ask him first.
Oh.
So we just wouldn't ask him because we knew he'd say,
We knew the
no,
answer.
no, you know. And
Yeah.
so he was cock of the roost. He was, and if he said no, he meant no.
His
no need
word.
to ask again.
Yeah.
You don't ask again. and nobody said a word back to him. We knew not to.
Yeah, you had learned.
But I think I had 2 dates in high school.
Okay.
But I was in everything, and I was active with things.
Yeah, I'm sure you had a ton of friends. What was your mom like?
My mom was the closest thing to an angel here on earth.
Really?
They met while she was teaching school.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught out of a little place called Bakeville, or Tatum down there. And it was her first time to teach after college. And so she had to have a place to stay while she was there. And so she was rooming with one of my dad's cousins there.
Oh.
And that's where she met my dad.
Okay.
And he was a pretty slick talker to the girls, I think. So he just kind of slick talked her and to going with him. And finally, I think she went down there in September to teach. And I think they got married in November. And
hold on. She got there in September.
Yeah.
Met him, got engaged,
Yeah.
got married in 2 months?
Yeah. And
was that just the time? That was just like...
Well, she was going with a really nice young man. And while my mother was in college, her dad died.
Oh.
And I don't know whether he found someone down there or not. But anyway, I still have the letter that he wrote my mother when her dad died.
Whoa.
And
wow.
So
that's got to be interesting.
It was a real sweet letter,
Yeah.
And so, and Molly said, if I can ever do anything for you, just let me know.
Aww.
And so,
sounds like a sweet guy.
Growing up, as I say, we lived first with my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
He was
She's so sweet.
My granddad had a radio. We didn't have a radio. Nobody had a radio even at that time.
Yeah.
But he had a great big round radio, and
wow.
And we'd get in the afternoon after school, and he might be out working in the garden, or he had a trellis with grapes on it and things like that.
Yeah.
And while he was outside working, we'd turn on that radio and hear Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy, Terry and the Pirates, and we would listen to those. And if he came in, boy, we'd turn that radio off.
Yeah.
Because he'd say, "You're just using up electricity." And so I heard it from my dad, too, when we were older, Mm-hmm. We listened to, finally got a radio, and we listened to the Grand Ole Opry on Saturday night, and maybe some news, and that was it.
Yeah.
Because it used too much electricity, and he had to pay for it,
Wow.
So.
Oh my goodness.
So I went to Gum Springs School through the 7th grade, and then I went to Hallsville in the 8th and finished there.
Okay.
But Gum Springs was a pretty good sized school when my mother was growing up.
Yeah.
They even had a basketball team out there.
Wow.
It's all gone. I bought the 2.5 acres the school was on.
You did?
It was right across the road from my house, and I bought that. And we kept it until we had Gum Springs Trailer Park, a travel trailer mobile home park. For 20 years, and Jim and I did, because we built a house right there on the corner, and we put in a trailer park, and to help us putting the kids through school and everything.
Totally.
And, so I said, when it came, the man might sell it. I said, Jim, I want to buy that 2.5 acres.
Yeah.
That's where I went to school in the 7th grade. I said, we went out to the old bathrooms, out there.
It's all those
Boys'
memories.
bathroom was right here.
And it was really like right across the road from your house?
Yeah.
Wow.
Robert Wilson Road that goes back to Neiman Marcus, where my granddaddy owned.
Wow.
A lot of land back there. So.
Oh my goodness.
And that 80 acres was left to my aunt and uncle, left to me back there. And so, but
amazing.
I wanted to go back over to just look, and we found parts of old desks and different things over there, And
did it just close when you bought it?
Oh no, it had been gone a long time.
Okay.
And
Was it raised like the building?
There was nothing there but the ground.
Oh,
It was a big 3-room building, and we had the pot-bellied stoves. They were huge around, and we'd all get up to those pot-bellied stoves that had wood, to burn. And teacher would send us outside, get some wood, and open the metal frame, and then the door to the stove, and put wood in there,
Oh my goodness.
So but it was growing up was a fun time because we would have Halloween carnivals at the school, and all the community would come, and a big hamburger stand out there, and
what fun!
A program,
Was it a tight knit community that you grew up in?
Yes, it was. It was and the church was right across the road from that, and so
everything was just right there.
It was just
wow.
It was spread out, but it was a really good community to live in.
Yeah, sounds like a great place to grow up.
But it was some of the things that I put.
Yeah, let's see what
on here that I just was. I think I've told you a lot about my childhood and about all of that, but there was 2 things in here. There was one about your some place that you had gone and maybe heard a concert or something like. Well, we didn't get to hear any concerts really,
Fair,
but I did get to go hear Sir Edmund Hillary.
Okay.
Speak about going to Mount Everest and looking for the Yeti.
Wow.
And I thought that was the most amazing thing.
Yeah. Hearing
him speak. He was absolutely wonderful. And then my daughter took me to, I can't ever say it right, Cirque du
Soleil?
Du Soleil.
Yes, Cirque du Soleil.
And that was
incredible.
It was. It was incredible.
The talent. I've been once to one of those, and I was just blown away. It's crazy.
And she said the one that we saw was about the spiders and all of that moving along the things. It was just bugs. It was about bugs. And,
okay. But it was.
And she said it wasn't the best one that she had seen, but it was at Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
And so she gave me that for Christmas, and she came up and took me over there.
Amazing.
And to me, it was.
You're like, don't tell me that it's not the best, because this is amazing.
It was. I thought about it so long after I had seen it.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have been one of those spiders or bugs crawling along that net. I couldn't do what they did.
Yeah.
But talked about on here too. How is life different now from what it was? Had my ideas changed? Yes. I became a Christian at 12 years old, but really, you don't know. I was always in Sunday school and church and everything, and so, but you don't realize then the things you grow. Yeah. You grow in faith and you grow in deeds. So I'm trying to keep my little light shining, my little light. I said, Lord, as long as you give me the energy,
the ability,
the ability
you're gonna keep
to do the things. I said, I want to do it. I said, my little light's getting kind of low, but I'm trying to keep it going, Lord. So anyway,
I just can't
try to keep those.
Yeah.
Keep doing whatever I can.
I think you're succeeding in all of that. It's amazing.
And I said, sometimes people come to me like they come to Sherry,
Yeah, I bet. Things. You're keeping this place in line. Well, it seems like a really wonderful place to live.
It is. I had come to see a boy I graduated with that was in here, though, and when I walked in, I just really liked the atmosphere, and
it's beautiful.
It looks so clean all the time, and everything's pretty, and so anyway, I said, I like it,
So you didn't put up a fight. You just said, I'm ready.
I said, I told y'all that when I got to where I couldn't take care of myself anymore, even if I said I don't want to go. If that's where I needed to be, then I wanted you to go ahead and say, yes, Mother, this is where you need to be.
Wow.
And they said, well, we don't want you to have to unless you, but they travel a lot now too.
Yeah.
And so.
Like they didn't want to force you.
Yes.
But you kind of gave them permission.
Yes. So they started to bring us up, fixing it up. And so.
Yeah.
My husband and I traveled a lot when he was alive.
I love that.
And we went all over England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. We went all over Europe.
Amazing. Did you have a favorite place?
Well, let's see. And we've been to so much, it's hard. I really like Italy.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Switzerland and Austria a lot.
Amazing.
Russia kind of awed me too. But
totally different, I imagine.
Yes,
than lots of other places.
And so, but I had read St. Petersburg, a whole thing about how it started and everything, and so I was really interested in seeing some of that.
Amazing.
But Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Panama, went to the Panama Canal, to Panama, Colombia.
I was just in Colombia in April.
Really?
Yeah, I was in Medellin.
Really?
I loved it.
Yes.
Seems like you've had a very full life.
And so, yes.
You've been all over.
Yeah,
You've done all kinds of stuff.
I've done a lot of stuff, and I've enjoyed life. And we'd get home, and after a while, my husband would say, when are you going to plan us another good trip? So
he wanted to keep getting out there. Amazing.
Well, I have probably talked to you way more than,
I love
I should.
I love it. No, these are so fun for me. I just have such a good time. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me.
Thank you for coming and listening to me. A lot of people don't want to listen to Miss Jeannie.
I want to. I was telling Kelsey before, I was like, I just want everyone to feel comfortable talking. And she was like, you don't have to worry about it. They're going to talk to you. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.